Have you ever trusted someone so deeply that you didn't notice the ground slowly disappearing beneath your feet? Or believed your life was completely stable, only to wake up one day and realize the truth had been quietly rewritten behind your back? This is the story of how a woman who valued loyalty, patience, and peace discovered that silence can be mistaken for weakness. And how one moment of betrayal forced her to uncover a strength she never knew she possessed. If you enjoy untold stories filled with subtle vengeance, emotional twists, and quiet resilience, make sure to subscribe, because this one will stay with you long after it ends. My name is Mara Ellison, and I'm 36 years old. I teach literature at a community college in Portland, Oregon. For nearly 9 years, I believed I had built a life rooted in trust and calm predictability with my husband, Daniel Marks. We met back in 2016 during a writing workshop. He was charming, spontaneous, the kind of man who filled every room with energy. I was quiet, observant, more comfortable with books than people. Opposites attract, they say, and for a long time, I thought they were right. When we married in 2018, I poured everything into our future. My savings, my time, even a portion of the small inheritance my mother left me when she passed. In 2020, we bought a little two-bedroom house in the Roseway district. It wasn't luxurious. The bathrooms were outdated, and the floors creaked when you walked too fast, but it was home. We paid $390,000, a modest price for the area. And I loved it. Daniel worked as a graphic designer for a tech startup. I assumed we were partners, building something side by side. Looking back now, I see how blind I was. I've always been the soft-spoken type. I avoid conflict. I analyze before I react. My students appreciate my calmness, and I assumed Daniel did too. But the truth is, he didn't see calmness. He saw compliance. He saw someone he believed would never fight back. That was my first mistake. Our marriage seemed stable from the outside. Evenings spent cooking together. Weekends curled up with Netflix. Late-night talks about books and dreams and travel plans. But appearances mean nothing when someone is hiding an entire life just beneath the surface. The first cracks appeared in early 2024. Daniel started attending design conferences, last-minute trips, sudden flights, weekends away. He came back with designer sneakers, expensive new gadgets, and clothes that definitely didn't match his salary. When I asked, he gave charming little explanations. Oh, they were gifts from colleagues. Oh, I got a bonus from a side project. Oh, I found a great sale. And I believed him. That was my second mistake. Then the financial inconsistencies began. Small, subtle, easy to miss unless you were looking closely. $80 cash withdrawals. $120 restaurant charges in cities he wasn't supposed to be in. Late-night ATM activity. When I questioned him, he grew irritated. Mara, you have to trust me. Stop analyzing everything. So, I stopped asking. And that was becoming a pattern. But I couldn't know, what was coming next. If you're still with me, make sure to hit that like button. This is where the story truly begins. By July 2025, everything escalated. It was a humid Thursday evening, the kind of summer heat that makes your skin sticky and your thoughts restless. I was grading essays at the dining table when Daniel came in, carrying a briefcase and an air of unusual tension. Mara, we need to talk, he said, setting his briefcase down. His tone was calm, almost clinical, but there was something in his eyes that made me instinctively tense. I put my pen down. About what? He inhaled slowly, and what followed felt rehearsed, almost like he had said it 1,000 times in front of a mirror. "I want a divorce." The words landed with the weight of a hammer. But years of quiet patience had taught me to control my reaction. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I simply nodded. "Okay," I said softly. "Tell me what you're thinking in terms of arrangements." For the first time, the mask slipped. I saw a flash of cold calculation, a version of him I had never imagined. "The house will be mine," he said. "I want 65% of our joint savings, and I expect spousal support for the next 4 years. I've already spoken to a lawyer." Every demand felt like betrayal. The house my mother had helped me buy, the savings I had painstakingly accumulated, all suddenly threatened. But what struck me most was his assumption that I was powerless. I looked him squarely in the eyes. "I'll need some time to review this," I said. He seemed momentarily taken aback, as if he expected tears or panic. But I had no intention of giving him that satisfaction. That night, while he slept, I stared at the ceiling. Daniel thought I had no resources. He thought I would crumble. But he had forgotten one key thing: my sister, Olivia Allison, a top-tier family lawyer known for her ruthless precision in Portland's legal circles. We hadn't spoken in years, not since a bitter argument over inheritance. But Olivia was brilliant, and she was my only option. The next morning, I gathered every document, every bank statement, every credit card receipt I could find. Every unusual expense Daniel had made over the past 18 months was noted. Every mysterious weekend getaway, every unexplained purchase, I catalogued them. Then I called Olivia. "Olivia," I said, my voice steady. "I need your help. My husband, he's trying to take everything, and I believe he's been diverting funds to cover another life." There was a pause on the line. "Mara, that's serious. Send me everything. I'll review it." Within a week, Olivia had gone through the evidence. Her verdict was swift. Daniel had been siphoning at least $50,000 from joint accounts over a year and a half, hiding it behind business expenses and false receipts. It was more than money. It was proof of deception, betrayal, and a carefully orchestrated double life. Olivia advised patience. "Let him make his move first," she said. "We'll be ready with evidence he won't see coming." And that's exactly what we did. Over the next few weeks, I became a detective in my own life. Every receipt, every online transaction, every travel itinerary Daniel claimed to have was meticulously documented. I cross-referenced credit card statements with airline records, checked hotel bookings, and even traced purchases to specific dates. Olivia hired a private investigator, Ethan Cole, a former Portland police detective with a reputation for uncovering hidden truths. Ethan's work was precise. Within days, he had tracked Daniel's weekend trips. They weren't design conferences, as he claimed. They were stays in expensive Airbnbs in Seattle, San Francisco, and even Vancouver. And he wasn't alone. Hotel records and photographs revealed a woman with him, someone who wasn't me. By mid-August, Olivia had compiled a complete dossier, bank statements showing diverted funds, credit card bills under false business names, and travel records proving an extramarital relationship. Her plan was deliberate. "We wait," Olivia said calmly. "He's expecting a quick settlement. We'll give him exactly what he didn't expect, a full revelation of everything." The day of the first hearing arrived. Daniel appeared confident, dressed in a sharp grey suit, carrying a leather briefcase like a weapon. I walked in quietly, my hands empty but my mind armed with every piece of evidence. When Olivia entered, there was a shift in the room's energy. She moved with authority, radiating the kind of presence that silenced murmurs in a courtroom. Daniel's lawyer, Robert Greene, was aggressive and sharp, expecting an easy win. But Olivia's reputation preceded her. The judge, Magistrate Helen Torres, began the session with formalities. Then it was our turn. Olivia stood, placing the dossier on the table. "Your Honor," she said, her voice steady, "my client has uncovered evidence that Ms. Mara Marks has been the victim of systematic financial misappropriation, deception, and concealment. We are requesting a full audit of all marital assets, reimbursement of misappropriated funds, and legal redress for the attempted exploitation of joint property." The courtroom went silent. Daniel's confident smirk faltered. Greene shuffled papers nervously. The evidence we presented was precise, indisputable, and damning. Daniel's lawyer attempted to object, but Olivia anticipated every move. Every argument he made was countered with dates, receipts, photos, and financial statements. Each piece of evidence peeled away the facade Daniel had built. By the end of the first hearing, the judge had ordered a full audit and froze all joint assets. Daniel's aggressive strategy had collapsed under the weight of truth. For the first time, he realized he had underestimated me. As we left the courtroom, Olivia turned to me. "Mara," as she said softly, "he thought you were powerless. He forgot that patience and preparation are stronger than intimidation." I nodded. For the first time in months, I felt a sense of control, not over Daniel, but over my own life. 8 weeks later, the courtroom was tense. Every eye was on us. Daniel entered first, his confidence diminished but still clinging to a facade of control. I followed quietly, calm but resolute, flanked by Olivia and the compiled evidence. The judge, Magistrate Torres, reviewed the audit results meticulously. Each line of the report revealed deliberate deception. Daniel had diverted over $62,000 from joint accounts, opened secret credit lines under false business names, and misrepresented his spending as work-related expenses. Olivia presented each piece systematically. Bank statements, hotel records, airline itineraries, and photographs, all painting a clear picture of Daniel's double life. The courtroom was silent except for the clicking of pages and Olivia's measured voice. "Your Honor," Olivia said, standing tall, "the evidence demonstrates deliberate concealment and financial misconduct. My client has been systematically deprived of assets she legally owns, while her spouse engaged in an extramarital relationship funded with misappropriated funds. We are seeking full restitution, reimbursement of legal fees, and equitable division of remaining marital assets." Daniel's lawyer tried to intervene. "Your Honor, we acknowledge some discrepancies." Olivia cut him off sharply. "This is not a minor discrepancy. This is deliberate fraud. The facts are clear." Daniel, pale and silent, could no longer maintain his composure. The confident man who had delivered his ultimatum 2 months earlier was now reduced to someone scrambling to survive the consequences of his own deception. The judge nodded. "Given the evidence presented, this court orders a full reimbursement of misappropriated funds. The marital home will be sold, and proceeds divided equally. Legal fees incurred by the plaintiff shall be covered by the defendant. Further, the court recognizes the fraudulent behavior and will consider any further legal actions if misrepresentation continues." In that moment, a sense of justice settled over me. I hadn't just reclaimed my financial security, I had exposed the truth, dismantled the lies, and reclaimed my dignity. Outside the courthouse, Daniel avoided my gaze. His life of calculated manipulation had collapsed. I walked away feeling a mix of relief and quiet satisfaction, knowing the victory wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming what was mine and holding him accountable. For me, the most profound outcome wasn't financial. It was the restoration of self-respect and clarity. I had learned the hard way that silence and patience are not weakness, they are strategy. That careful observation, documentation, and the right support can turn betrayal into empowerment. Life returned to its rhythm. I moved into a smaller, comfortable apartment, surrounded by books and the calm I had longed for. I reconnected with friends, focused on teaching, and embraced the peace I had almost forgotten existed. Daniel moved on, but I never looked back. The lessons lingered. Never underestimate patience. Never dismiss your intuition. Sometimes the quietest people harbor the most formidable strength. The best victories aren't always about taking from others, they're about reclaiming yourself. If this story made you reflect on trust, resilience, or the quiet power within, hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories that linger long after the last word.